If you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got. That's not the case with reselling. Hey, I'm Margaret. I'm a full-time reseller. You may have noticed that sales have been slowing down. I know they have for me. And so it's time to take a hard look at what you've always done and really decide if it's working. And if it's not working anymore, it is time to change things up. If your goal is to be a full-time reseller or just to make some extra money, you don't want to waste your time with things that just aren't working anymore. And I'm going to be taking a look at some of the things that I've always picked up that just aren't selling like they used to. I'm going to walk you through this method of looking things up, checking them on Terapeak so that you can see what the sell-through rates are and what kind of prices they're selling for overall. And that way you can get a better idea if it's still worth getting. I get it, old habits die hard. I love picking up trinket boxes and vintage linens, but I have to make a hard decision. Do I want to sit on these or do I want them to sell? Even if it's just a quarter for something that might sell in a year for $25, is it something that I really want to pick up right now? The answer to that might be yes, but it might be no. But it's a good way to decide if you want to continue doing what you're doing or diversify and try to get some things that sell a little bit more quickly. My name is Margaret, and with my partner Juan, we have about 10 years of full-time reselling experience under our belts. We make videos helping resellers like yourself become more successful. If you're new to reselling or just wanting to increase your income, then make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything that might help you reach those goals. First things first, let me show you where to find the Terapeak search. When you are here at the Seller Hub, you're going to come over to Research, select that, and along the side here you'll see Terapeak Product Search, Sourcing Insights, and Learning Resources. And this is where you will come to enter in the keywords or the item that you're looking for, and then there are different ways that you can narrow down your search. I went to an estate sale and they had some really great prices on things. And again, these are things that I normally pick up. I like picking up trinket boxes. These are lacquered trinket boxes. They were about 50 cents a piece. So this one's got a falcon on it, some kind of bird. This one has some damage, but had some rabbits, but I thought the subject matter was good. And at about 50 cents a piece, I thought they were going to be a pretty good pickup. Here's another one that I got. It's a little bit larger. I believe this one was about 75 cents. So initially I was just going to do a regular haul video, and then I started taking a look at my inventory and realizing I've got a lot of stuff like this, and yeah, they sell over time, but they aren't selling very fast. And I'm starting to notice that a lot of my inventory is stuff that sells over time. Now we do have things that sell more quickly. A lot of our Facebook marketplace sales and things like that sell more quickly, which is a good idea to have a mix, but I have to decide, are they going to be worth it over time waiting for that? And I typed in lacquer trinket box, and I wanted to do the search for the last 90 days because ultimately I would love for these to sell fairly quickly. Now, when I scroll down, I can see that the average sold price is $26.87, which is pretty good, right? The average shipping cost is $8.90. And then the total sold here are 717. So in 90 days, 717 sold, which sounds good. But when you look at the sell-through rate, that is 7.27%, which is not huge, which means that there are a lot listed and 717 of those sold. So there's a lot of them available, right? Now you can scroll down and start digging deeper into like what kinds of trinket boxes and sizes, etc., etc., if you wanted to go that route. But I also decided that I wanted to go ahead and take a look at just trinket boxes. So maybe it's not just a lacquered trinket box, but I have, this little trinket box that I got as well. So this trinket box, let's say it's not lacquered. The average sold price, $28.85, which is great, especially since I spent less than $1 on this. Then when I look over here at the average shipping, and then the sell-through rate is 8.54%, which is still really low. I would love for that to be closer to like 40 or higher. It's not always going to be that way though. But here, total sold 4,573 trinket boxes sold in the last 90 days. And taking a look at the types of trinket boxes like mine that are up on eBay, I did want to go and look and see the solds and what was still listed right now. And I'm seeing, $8 on this one. Here's one that's on Mercari for $12. This one with the birds on it is $26. Subject matter does matter. So, if there's somebody that's a bird collector that might like that better, or rabbits, even though there's some damage on that one. But here's another one that's $59.99. That's up. So it kind of depends on size, subject matter, damage, and then if you're looking at something that's going to sell for $12 versus $60, which one of those things am I more willing to hold on to for a year or so before it sells? Now here are a couple more that are up for 42 or 28. Now if I'm doing that kind of research, then those are the kinds of ones that I might be more willing to hold on to for a little bit longer. Now my little porcelain trinket box that I showed you like so, this one is an Orvieto, which I thought, okay, this is pretty nice. Again, spent $1 or less on this one. But when I come over to Terapeak and I'm looking at the average sold price is $9 and only 4 have sold in the last 90 days, even though the sell-through rate is 21%, which is better, the price that it's going to sell for is at $9 isn't fantastic. And the only having 4 sold in the last 90 days is not encouraging. Another item that I like to pick up to sell from thrift stores, estate sales, garage sales are Bibles, depending on the Bible. So this is a Holy Bible Red Letter Edition. Let's take a look at my normal method of looking things up and Terapeak. So here are a couple Bibles similar to the one that I've got that have sold for about $50, $39.99. Here's one that sold for $15, $29, and $55. A few of these are a little different than the one I've got. Probably the one that's closest to the one I've got here is at $15. But let's go do the actual deep dive research and see if this is something that I'm going to be willing to continue picking up. I've typed in Holy Bible Red Letter Edition. I've got 90 days here. And coming down, the average sold price is $21.56. Average sell-through rate is 10%. And the total sold are over 1,000. So it's something that will probably sell a little quicker. Of course, 10% sell-through rate is not fantastic as well, but it is something that will eventually sell, maybe a little bit more quickly than my trinket boxes. So it's something that, it doesn't take up a lot of space and it's pretty easy to ship. So it might be something that I continue picking up if it's about $1 or so. The next thing I picked up at this estate sale were these linens that are armchair linens that they would be placed over armchairs on the arms to keep them from getting dirty. So again, this is something that I would generally like picking up, and I'm going to give this caveat with some of these things. I sell more than just on eBay, so some of this stuff might do better on sites like Etsy. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm sourcing some of these items. They might still take a little longer to sell, but if I'm cross-posting them, they might end up actually being a good pickup because of the platform. But let's take a look at what this would be selling for, what the sell-through rate is on eBay. So here we are, vintage armchair covers. Average sold price is $45.39. We've got about 188 sold in the last 90 days, and the sell-through rate is 14%, which is, again, not where I want it to be, but it's getting a little bit better. And if you're curious about cross-posting on eBay, Etsy, and other platforms, I have a link down below for List Perfectly, which is the platform I use to help me list across multiple platforms. And I have a coupon code there for 30% off as well. And I'll link a video up here showing you how to use List Perfectly if you're interested. The next item that I thought was going to be a good pickup actually wasn't. I spent $2 on this Hallmark Yesteryears ornament. And just looking at the solds on eBay, I can see that they sold for under $10 for the most part. This is one of those times when you do what you always done, you get what you always got. It doesn't work because I chose not to stop and look this up. So it really, even as more seasoned resellers, it behooves us to stop a moment and look things up just to make sure that we're not wasting $2. I always say, well, some people say it was just $2. And I think, do you know what I can do with $2?
$2 cash.
That's $2. So just for funsies, we're looking at Terapeak. Hallmark Yesteryears bird ornament. Average sold price $6.44. That sell-through rate though is hot, right? 60%, I would love it. 60, 80%, that's fantastic. Now, only 6 sold. $6.44 though. I mean, will I still list it? Yes, I'm going to make a couple dollars profit on it, but it's like, I want that sell-through rate, but I really want that average sold price to be higher as well. Next are these M&M Garlands, and the old way I would look them up here, you can see I see a lot of 2 up for $35, a couple more here up for $26.59 for 4 of them, and then so on. So the prices are pretty good. I'm noticing a lot of solds, which is good, but I also want to go in and take a look at Terapeak and see what the actual data says. Here it is, the M&M Plastic Christmas Garland. Average sold price looks pretty good, $33.53. Total sold 53. Sell-through rate is 4.93%, which is not good. Now, I also want to take a look down here because that price, average price being $33 here, sold price range $7.98 to $89. That could be because some of them are lotting them up to where they have more than one. So mine just being a solo garland, a solo strand, it may not fetch that much. So here you can see a lot of 3 of them at $50. Next thing I always look at is calculators.
Did you get us a calculator? Are we getting a calculator?
So this is a TI89, and there are different Texas Instruments calculators, TI89, TI83, and if you can't remember, like I can't remember, then it's always worth looking up. So this was a pretty good pickup. I paid $1 for this calculator. And as you can see, there are a couple of differences. There's the TI89 Titanium, which this is not. This is just the regular TI89, and there was one here sold for $20. But I want to take a look at the Terapeak research and see if this was going to be a good pickup or not. So I've typed in TI89 Calculator. I want to come over here and select used, and I'm seeing the average sold price is $42, so I'm guessing that they're factoring in the titanium as well. Let me see down here. Yeah, they are factoring in the titanium as well. I'm not exactly sure how to get them to filter those out, but the sell-through rate here is 30%, which is pretty good. So I think even with this being not the titanium, which is going to fetch a higher price, I think it's still going to be a pretty good pickup, even if I only end up selling it for around $20. At $1, I can make a really good profit on that. If you're wanting to learn more about what to pick up and what not to pick up, check out this playlist up here that I created for you. And here is a video that YouTube thinks that you will enjoy. And if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you.